Craig, you're all set.
Good evening, welcome to May 22nd, 2025 Planning Board meeting. First I'd like to appoint Bree Lay as a voting member. No. Close to 5 anyway. And first item on the agenda is Chad, I don't know how you pronounce your last name.
Gonzalez.
Yeah, that. 8856 South Stark Highway. Before you get started, we have the design review meeting checked on the application. However, I don't believe we meet all the requirements for design review meeting. So, that's my opinion. Obviously, the board hasn't seen them. If they want to look at it, we can. If you would want to continue on as conceptual, we certainly can.
Okay,
That's up to you.
that'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Craig, is it because he wasn't conceptual? He was conceptual.
We don't have a scale drawing,
Sorry.
all that kind of thing.
No, I think that we thought the conceptual was what you were after. He did the conceptual prior to buying it.
Yes, but now he's doing another conceptual for the 12 by 20 coffee shop,
Okay, that's what, I just was.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually have drawings that were done by Jacques Belanger, but I just didn't have time to submit them, that's all.
There, well, I don't want to mess up the whole application. Yeah, here we go.
Copies.
Okay, sir.
So, thanks for having me. We just closed on the property 3 weeks ago, and we are hoping to bring that property back to life and my wife and I would like to bring some agricultural, agritourism to the community with a small coffee shop, ice cream stand, and cut flower farming in the near future. The proposal that I have on the table right now is a small 12 by 24 coffee shop drive-through. Just wanted to get the board's opinion, and
12 by 24 or 12 by 20?
12 by 20, sorry.
Any seating inside?
And not for this particular drawing, no.
In this drawing, I assume the building is in the middle? What is this over here?
The blue, I don't know if I guess yours isn't in color. The square that you just asked about is the employee parking.
Oh, okay.
The box in the center of the circle is the actual building, the coffee shop building. It would be a one direction coming in to order on the right side of that building, and then going around and picking up the order on the left side, and then exiting the same place.
Obviously, you need a DOT driveway permit.
Yep, I'm in the process of getting that squared away. The property itself is allowed 3 driveways. We're only using 1 right now.
I will caution you a little bit because you're close to that intersection, 77.
Yeah,
Okay, you're aware of that.
Yep.
You're not gonna be able to get one close to that intersection, obviously.
yeah, part of the blockage of the view too has to do with the overgrowth on our property, which we plan to take care of.
Yeah, because the line of sight at the bottom part of your property line.
Yeah,
When you're sitting right there, you can't see around that corner.
right. People come flying around the corner. I've been walking to get my lunch at the Three Corners, and that's a life-risking task, so.
If it had to, could it be moved further north, or?
I'm sure it could be moved further north if it wants to.
Yeah.
Are you asking about the driveway or the,
Well, the driveway, if they give you a problem being too close to here.
Yeah.
Maybe it's possible to move it.
yeah, we're trying to preserve the actual farmhouse, which is that big building on the diagram there. We're trying to preserve the house itself. Probably gonna have to remove the barn eventually, but our hope is to keep that house and bring it back to life. Maybe have it be
How
a,
would the weather affect the inside with the roof being gone, though?
believe it or not, it's like, I mean, obviously the upstairs is getting pretty wet, but the downstairs is, it's like still intact, and the basement is actually dry.
What are you gonna be doing in the coffee? I mean, is it just coffee? What do you,
Coffee, unique drinks, I guess. My wife and I are, we're into the Halloween haunted industry. We talked about that last time, so we'd like to do something that's themed a little bit differently and unique. That's why we called it Wicked Brew Drive-Through. And, yeah, just espressos and coffees and different elixirs. So, just bringing something a little bit different and unique.
any food?
It would be like snack food, maybe breakfast sandwiches, that sort of thing.
You're gonna need a, food service license?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would plan to put a small-scale commercial kitchen.
Yeah.
How wide a driveway you looking at?
I think we had talked maybe about whatever the requirement is. We have plenty of space there.
You're gonna make it one way, so I assume you're gonna, well, I shouldn't make assumptions, but I would probably go 24 on the way in, then split it and make it narrower on the one-way part.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. 24 is a two-lane road, so you're gonna want fire trucks and everything else to get in there too, so.
Right. So is this quiet in here? Do you play some music, or?
Did you bring any samples?
It does get really loud in here sometimes.
It does? Oh. So, I don't know that this needs to be said, but, and for anybody who's here, who I haven't met, who are neighbors, I've been slowly meeting the neighbors, and everybody has been, like, gracious and really polite and just amazing and helpful. And this property is a unique piece of property. I've grown up in New Hampshire my whole life. I am partial and really drawn to old farmsteads. I would not want to, and my intention, my wife's intention is not to make this into a development. We want to preserve it. I've been telling everybody that stops by and tells stories about Mr. Ilsley and his chicken farm, which I enjoy hearing every day that I hear him. I want to bring this property back to life and have a place for the community to go and support, agritourism, which my wife is really big into, the cut flower farming, and, maybe down the road growing some vegetables or Christmas tree farming. Just think it would be a nice place for people to be able to convene.
You definitely got good visibility there, so.
Yeah, there's Harris's house is the southmost house right by the road there. His house is still in decent shape. It's an antique home. It's got a lot of water in the basement right now, but our hope is to also preserve that and keep it. I'm trying to figure out through various resources what buildings can just be saved and either re-roofed or preserved to the best of their ability. The farmhouse to the north of the property, our hope would be that maybe that becomes a farm stand down the road, where we could just sell stuff that's indoors or ice cream out of.
I was gonna ask you where the ice cream's gonna go. I assume you had some idea where that was gonna be by this point, but.
Yeah, to be honest, the concept of a drive-through is not absolutely necessary in our brains. If the board or any abutters don't agree with it, we're open to suggestions. Ultimately, we want this to be a place that's going to have, nice sitting areas, place for, maybe some storytelling or something where people can sit and just listen to some light music or something like that, like just something that people can enjoy. So if the infrastructure needs to be adjusted in any way, we're totally open to that.
I don't think we have any regulation prohibiting a drive-through,
No,
so.
Your design is all within keeping of the environment too, as far as what you have sketched out, so.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see the actual picture. It was kind of dark, but yeah, yeah.
But I could, but here sketches. Good sketch.
Yeah, I'd like to just give a shout out to my 7th grade art teacher.
Where was the seventh grade art teacher?
She's dead now, but, sorry.
Shout really loud. I was just thinking if you're gonna wanna have a place to sit down and tell stories and hear music and everything else, this doesn't really do that,
It's,
to be blunt.
no, it's all right. The area that is actually circled on your sketch there that says septic
Yes.
is an enormous area. The whole
Yes.
parcel is very big and flat in the front, so our idea was if we're gonna put a, leach field in that area, that'd be a good place for people to sit and,
Except for vent pipes.
there will be no vent pipes, according to Mr. Belanger.
Must be a pipe and stone system.
Yeah, that's what he said, I don't know.
Better not be pumped. Okay, no vent pipes?
That's what he told me,
Be a good
so,
place to sit.
I'm not a septic guy, but that's what I was told, so.
So you're looking at 4 parking spaces then for the 4 employees?
Yeah, and, there's, yes.
You may need a special exception for the driveway in the front, it's in the front setback. Wouldn't you need a special exception for that? Let me everybody scramble.
It's in the commercial district, right?
Yes, the front is in commercial.
It's got more than 200 feet frontage.
Yeah, 24.8. In a commercial district, ample parking spaces shall be provided on the premises to accommodate vehicles of customers, visitors, and employees, and such spaces shall not be closer than the setbacks established in 24.5 and 24.6, unless it's a continuation, well, that's the parking, not the driveway. Unless it's a continuation of parking area in the adjoining lot. guess you can put a drive-through in the front setback, but not a parking space,
Right,
right?
looks that way.
There is some fairly, I shouldn't say that word. You will need to put a landscape buffer along the front. I don't know how big look into GIS, the pond drain to the south, I believe.
Yep,
So you have a 50-foot setback from the wetlands,
yep.
25-foot, pretty much no-cut buffer from the wetlands.
That's quite a ways back from the road, though.
Yeah, and it's got a,
It is, it's just gonna be down the hill. I'm sure.
yeah,
Just thought I better say something.
yep.
Anybody else have any questions? Comments?
What happens if there's a few parking spaces for customers and there's too many customers, like what happened on another part in town?
It's all
Is it-
drive-through, there's no customer parking.
But he was saying how
So,
later on.
Well, then he has to come in for the site plan.
Oh,
He's gonna do the, people sitting on the septic system drinking coffee.
Yeah, so right now,
I had to say.
No, that's brilliant.
It comes down to how big the queue is, really.
Yeah,
You know, so if it seems to be insufficient,
right,
you know, I don't know how many customers you expect, because we have that same problem at Dunkin's every morning,
Yeah.
yeah,
and they were supposed to build it out way beyond, and they didn't, so.
But if he goes 24 feet, the queue can line the whole way up back up to 114, basically.
Could.
And that, I don't know the scale on this, but it appears to be a reasonable, quite a distance anyway. I'm sure DOT will look at that too.
Right.
I'm sure DOT will give them a do not do list.
Yes, they will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much do we want to recommend as far as this progression of development? He's gonna come for us today with what, he's gonna
It's a good question.
encourage phases, or as he grows, as it matures, then come before us?
Does Jacques' plan just have this on it, nothing else, or?
just this, correct, yeah. His last plan didn't quite have the drive-through correct. It was, after the order window, it was going out beyond the building by 15 to 20 feet and then coming back to the building, which we don't think is that necessary. But it was just this design as well as the landscape and the septic.
One thing to concern yourself about, you only got a 12-foot wide building. That's a pretty tight
Yeah.
corner for a lot of vehicles.
Right.
Especially with me driving my boat.
Yep,
It'd be a really tight corners of towing a boat.
yeah, yep,
So you're not gonna wanna go. You're like,
Well, the advantage is he's not designing something that's existing,
right,
so he can
you've got room.
manipulate the room there.
well, my mistake I've always made when I build things is never to think big enough. So think big. Plan for it in advance so you don't have to come back to it.
fair enough.
I made that mistake more than once.
So, bless you. So to get back to your question about, this would be in phases. Right now, we have, right now, we need to get this started so that we can start paying the note down. So, it's to put it mildly. So we need to get something established that will get us started. And in the meantime, my wife will be starting to plant flowers and, various species of flowers from what she's explained to me. So the idea is to get something that people can start to, it will generate some traffic and then come back in, and it's all in phases. This is a daunting property. It's very, very big, and there's a lot of work. My hair wasn't gray 3 weeks ago.
Sign the note and poof. huh?
Yep, it's over, yeah.
Anybody else have any questions? I guess I can open it for public, sure.
Good day, sir. Brian Simpson.
Brian, nice to meet you.
800 South Stark Highway.
You got him up the podium. We
Oh,
got a
sorry about
huge-
that.
Huge TV audience wants to hear you.
Where do I stand, just right in front of him, or?
How you doing?
Hi, good to meet you.
It's nice to meet you as well. My name is Brian Simpson, 800 South Stark Highway. I was just curious if you're aware of the easements on your property?
I was just made aware of the easement 2 days ago, actually.
Okay, which one?
Well, the one that involves a well that is covered by a car hood.
Correct.
In the very back of the property.
So that's, one of those is me, and
Yeah.
then there's two others that are on that easement.
Okay.
Do you know that you have a septic easement as well?
For,
I haven't, it's not mine, so I have no
okay,
idea.
well, then I will look into that. I do believe, I know about
Yeah.
that one, yes.
Sorry, not a good public talker.
Yeah,
but,
no, I like how you're grilling me. This is good.
No, I'm not trying to grill you. I apologize if it looks that way. I'm not trying to grill you.
You'll be bald by the end of this time.
I'm actually trying to help you. I want to encourage this project a lot. I just want to make sure good friends and good neighbors, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So I want you to be aware of it, and I want everyone to be aware of it.
So I don't know the rules on easements. Like I said,
You're not even building close to them. I just want you to know.
Like I said, I just found out about this easement 2 days ago from the logging company. I went out there,
Yeah,
took a
I'm a friend of the logging company as well, yeah.
I took a walk out there, saw the car hood. That'll be something that we have to address. I mean, you and I can work together.
It's going to be me and at least two other families, because we're all on that same well.
I don't,
so.
I'm here with the best of intentions for when.
Me too, me too, me too. Me too. I would love to see not a development go in that property.
Cool.
That would be fantastic. That's all I got, so.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Just over to the public, anybody else want to speak?
Any other easements? Great.
Good evening. I'm Ashley Eichel.
Ashley,
Nice to meet you. I'm 59 Cortland Ave. I didn't receive a letter, but some of my neighbors did. And so I'm here because of the concerns around some of us not getting letters about this meeting.
Well, we're doing conceptual, so therefore the public notice would not have been required, so.
Oh,
it
okay.
doesn't matter.
That's good to know. And this is my first meeting, so.
I should have explained that earlier,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
no, thank you. So I agree with our other neighbor. We're really excited about this opportunity as well. I think that my larger concerns, and I'll just speak for myself and not my neighbors, is the agricultural part. So I would love more information about what kind of flowers and whether or not there will be pesticides used that could impact our wells and things like that. And so I just wanted to come here and raise those concerns because that would not be great. So I just definitely want more information around that. I don't even know if I'm allowed to request that, but I don't want to not raise those concerns.
Well, that's in the future, so.
Yep.
This is, what we're talking about is the coffee shop.
And he mentioned planting flowers right now, so that's the only reason I'm sitting at your podium right now. So the coffee shop sounds awesome, but the approval conceptually of also simultaneously planting flowers is not the coffee
I'm
shop.
not sure he needs approval from us to plant flowers, to
So-
be honest with you, but
Yeah,
That's what rural agricultural land is
Yeah.
for.
I don't
So-
know if anybody needs permission from the planning board to plant
I
flowers.
guess that's true.
Yeah,
I guess
but
that's
I think
true.
it's over our
But I just
purview.
want to make sure that,
I understand.
concerns are raised.
I appreciate
So,
it.
and would love to have some time to meet with you more.
Come down anytime.
That sounds great.
Brian, you're welcome too.
Great.
Bring
You'll
your
see,
tools.
you'll see him walking up and down the road.
Great.
I'll be
Thank
the
you.
bald guy.
Thank you all. Thanks again.
Thank you, nice meeting you. Do you want me to respond to that, or? I'm happy to
I can, we
Since
can
you
have a
came
one-on-one.
here. Awesome. I wish my wife was here. She's been rattling off names of flowers and I go like totally blank.
I care more about pesticides than flowers.
All right. Well, luckily she has not said anything about pesticides, so that's
Good.
good. Yeah.
Considering we're here about a coffee shop, essentially, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want pesticides in the coffee, so.
No pesticides in our coffee.
That will not be an elixir.
That's not one of the unique drinks. I'm glad to hear that.
I am.
Yes,
Chad.
ma'am.
Hi, I'm Katie Townge, and I live across the street, 883 South Stark. I'm just curious about, like, because the plan that was shown doesn't really show a lot of detail as far as, like, how far away from the road you are and how far up the parcel you are. So I'm curious with that intersection, because that's a bad intersection,
Very bad.
about the traffic and if there's going to be a traffic study provided.
Okay.
That would all be up to DOT, to be honest.
And there'll be another meeting when he gets the plan from the surveyor. So we'll be able to tell things much better then, because that'll be all the scale.
So, just so I'm aware, my wife and I came, you guys remember, we came here prior to purchasing the property with an idea, but it wasn't this kind of specific.
Right.
So I filled out the paperwork for trying to get more specific, but we need to have more drawings that are actual, okay. And then do we re-notify all the abutters again? Do they get copies of all that, or, like, do I have to provide that, or?
It's available. I guess it's always been available once you get your abutters notice.
Okay,
If they
They
get
can
notice,
come
and they'll
look
be,
at it, they can call us.
Yeah.
in the office, they can come and look at it if they want to.
okay. So regarding the traffic flow, so this is all had to go, do you want me to address that?
Traffic flow, that's gonna all be up to DOT.
Yeah, well, just so everyone's aware in the room and the board's aware, I've been in, believe it or not, the DOT has been extremely helpful and they've been responsive. So they are helping me figure out where the driveways, the sight lines, what makes sense with that intersection. So I am aware of the traffic flow because every time I try to pull out, somebody's right on me. So,
Anything else?
I don't think so. So next month, I will plan to have more specific drawings.
Would you wanna well, we can go either another conceptual, or you can, if you have really good finished drawings, come in for a final.
Okay,
But that means your septic design's done, your driveway permit's applied for and all that kind of thing, and your grading's all done, septic's, everything's
okay.
done. The i's are dotted, t's are crossed.
I'm bald.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
that's why they call it final, you know?
Yeah. All right, well, thanks for everyone's time.
If you wanna come back in and talk about something else next time, just conceptually, we don't really require any major notice. Just
Okay,
let us know a couple days in advance so we can get ready for you,
awesome.
okay?
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You can have them. Next item on the agenda is a design review. Brian and Nicole Marie Kelly, Peter Madsen of Eastman Way, tax map 409, lot 191, 191-7, -8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So we've got a design review, so we've got a checklist to go through, guys. Application, butters, 8 sets, purpose and plan notes, zoning classification, property lines, buildings and other setbacks, well uses existing buildings NA, property location, there's this map, yep. Preliminary parcel, I remember seeing that. Frontage for each proposed lot, I remember seeing that. Topography, do we have a topo plan? Yeah, we have a topo plan. Wetlands, I saw those. Soil types, do I see soil types on that? Page 3.
We get the groups,
We got the groups?
yeah.
Okay. Flood hazard, aquifer, stamp, surveyor stamps, existing easements, culverts, drain lines, names and addresses of butters. The waivers requested. Sounds complete to me.
This will connect Rolling Hills with Barnard Hill Road.
That's previously approved. It will be built. First, we need to accept the application as complete though.
Or the checklist.
Right, from the checklist.
Move we accept the application as complete.
We have a second.
Second.
Ray Beecher. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Mr. Hickey.
Mr. Hickey?
You're not Mr. Hickey?
No, I'm not Mr. Hickey. No, I'm Mr. Madsen, Pete Madsen.
Okay.
Yeah, so Pete Madsen, Senior Project Engineer at Keach Nordstrom Associates in Bedford, representing the project owner and applicant, Brian and Nicole Kelly, also joined by Brian tonight as well. Basically, what I'm looking to do here tonight is just introduce the project to you guys, hear your concerns, hear any input from some of the abutters, look for any feedback that you guys might have, and get ready for a formal subdivision application in June. Just a brief history on the project and how we got to where we are. The plan that you have before you shows 10 lots, which are located between Eastman Way and Barnard Hill. Excuse me. They are in the rural agricultural district. It was originally part of the Rolling Hills subdivision, which was done 2003-2004 timeframe. And that subdivision actually created the neighborhood kind of around Rolling Hills Drive and Eastman Way, obviously. So part of the original subdivision was to actually connect Eastman Way to Barnard Hill Road. This was all originally approved in 2003-2004 via the right-of-way that's shown on the plans. Just to point out, if you look at the topography plan, there's wetlands on there, and you can see that there were a number of wetland crossings that were contemplated for that original application. Obviously Eastman Way was never constructed at this point, so those wetland crossings were never applied for or anything. However, what Brian's looking to do is actually a lot less, I don't want to say convoluted, but a lot less impactful than what this previous project contemplated. So what he's looking to do is have the right-of-way extinguished, released, and consolidate those existing 10 lots to create 3 new lots, all of which would be over 10 acres, so require less than 50 feet or 50 feet minimum of frontage. All the lots that he's proposing have over 100 feet of frontage. And 2 of the lots would be 10-acre lots. One of the lots would be 18.5 acres. And the 2 lots that would be constructed off of Eastman Way would be accessed from a shared driveway. The last lot would be accessed from Barnard Hill Road. Like I said, just looking to get your guys' input, if you guys have any questions, and get ready for our formal submission in June. Thank you. Shared driveway would come off right at the turnaround up here. So there was, originally in the original plan, there was a temporary turnaround that was actually constructed, so it would come right off that.
I guess it's off the end of the turnaround, because we won't permit that.
So we had actually met with Naomi and DPW before getting this process started, and they didn't want us to do this is kind of where this whole thing stems from. They didn't want us to put a driveway right at the end. That's where the snow plows dump all the snow, obviously. So it'll probably come in kind of right at the corner, right there. And these wetlands, the reason we're doing a shared driveway is these wetlands and their buffers make it kind of challenging to get 2 driveways in there and meet all the radii and everything. So just be a shared driveway, kind of along this lot line here until it splits. One is accessed here, one's accessed here.
you go somewhere, it's past those 3 wetland pockets, and
Split off, correct? Yep.
you will need a wetland crossing for the other lot.
Yes, that's correct, but no more road, just a driveway, much less impact.
You'll need
And that's actually a PBN as well.
you need a variance for the wetland buffer.
So I was curious about that. Is that a variance or is that, I was reading in the regs, it seemed like it was planning board and Concom input.
That's what we tried to do, we never got that done.
Okay, all right,
Pretty sure it's variance, let me double check.
sure.
99% sure. I'm not gonna find it that fast, am I? Yeah, it's gonna be a variance. Buffer distance is not required within the right of way for any proposed class 5 or higher road, or any related class 5 road construction or maintenance.
But since it's a driveway, does that apply?
Nope, doesn't say driveway.
So they don't need a variance if it's a driveway?
Yes, they do. They do need a variance for driveway. We're trying to change it 7 at a time, sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, with a minor
The
impact.
conditional use permit.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for, but then that section looked like it was taken out, so.
Yeah.
Okay, understood.
A lot of monuments to be set, but
I'd rather see 3 lots than 10.
I'd like to see a connected road too, though.
Yeah, we'd actually spoken to the fire chief about that, and he had cleared it. He said he didn't need that for emergency access or anything, so didn't have any issues discontinuing that.
Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, fire. What do you plan on doing about the cistern?
Yes, that was another thing we had kind of looked into. It was my understanding that that cistern was just to service those lots in there. But if there's fire protection needed, we had discussed briefly sprinkling houses if need be. But the cistern was contingent upon the road being constructed, which obviously never happened.
Well, it's also, but it was all part of a subdivision, all part of the subdivision, so any additional lots need fire protection. And I don't think, the reason why the road stopped there when it did is because that's where the length of that cistern that's in there stopped.
Yeah, so I did take a look at that. The cistern, there's another cistern that's kind of down this way,
Yep.
lower on Eastman. And I don't remember the radius off the top of my head, but I remember checking it, and those 2 new lots that we're proposing were covered. They were covered in the radius. So I know it's right. It's very close. I will say that, but it's definitely there.
So, I mean, it's something you gotta look at and work out with the fire department.
Sure thing.
We do require the wetland buffer to be shown. Just FYI.
It should be shown on there. 50-foot wetland buffer.
That's a 50-foot wetland setback.
Oh, you're talking about the 25.
25-foot buffer
Okay.
needs to be shown, and there's a little blurb that we usually put on something right out of the zoning saying no more than 50% native plantings and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Site distance is obviously all right. Well, it is what it is in that case, I guess. Anybody in the public like to speak? Questions, comments?
No, so far you've answered all my questions.
Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. I don't have any other questions. I did look at this property for somebody else a couple years ago, but that's just an FYI. It's a very similar thing. Any more questions for us?
No, I mean, it sounds like, variance for the driveway, come back with that, and, get some info from the fire chief, show the buffers, and good to go.
Sounds like it. You believe the shared driveway agreement will need to be signed and
Sure.
recorded, and all that kind of stuff, of course. Sure, Naomi gets you wondering.
What we talked about, the Richardson one on. Cole
Yep,
Road.
yeah, I did take a brief look at that, and I have that plan on file.
Did I miss anything?
Perform a site review or conservation look at this also.
Yes. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, appreciate your time. Yeah, I guess so.
I just like the idea of the lot.
And only one driveway being, that's a big plus for me, because I'm across the street. I don't need a road there. Yeah, so that's the one thing.
I understand we have a conceptual we need to discuss.
Jonathan's here. Jonathan Down.
Those are.
All right, I'm Jonathan Downing, and we bought some property in the summer of 2022 on Winter Road, and I wanted to get an idea from you. I didn't realize until a few days ago, or a couple of weeks ago, that we're gonna have any issues at all, but we're building on I guess I'm learning a lot very quickly when it comes to like Class 5 versus Class 6 and private roads and driveways and things like that. But my understanding is that because this Winter Road is a private road, that it automatically needs to get a conditional use permit. So that's one step of, I'll tell you that Cam and Melissa have been very, very helpful in the building department. They've taught me a lot in the last few weeks, but we did, just to give you the timeline a little bit, so we received state septic approval in May of 2024, and then April 30th of this year, we received the shoreland permit approval from the state. So then we found out on May 1st that electricity might be an issue, but I think we've worked through that. Eversource and our neighbors were on the property yesterday, and we've got a plan in place to get electricity to the property. And my two questions primarily are going to be around, and I did bring a lot of things. If you want to see anything,
We want to see all those things.
Okay, all right, great. So I wasn't sure. I didn't want to overstay my welcome and dig too deep into something that you may.
Pastor Bill and I happen to be in here today, and we heard rumors about this and looked at some things.
Yeah, and we're really excited about this. Our friends are the wife is the great granddaughter of Horace Chase, and so there's a lot of connections to the town and the park and the lake, and we've our kids love this lake, and we're really excited to be coming to town, and just all the roads, Thurber Road and everything leading up to it. It's just beautiful property. We're in Londonderry right now and have been there in our current house for 23 years. Our kids are out of the house, and we're looking to make the next step here and build a permanent home that would be let's see, so I can share a few things with you. This would be the shoreland, and I know it's small, so if you give me guidance around what size things should be too, moving forward, and how many copies and all that sort of thing, I'll make sure when I come in next time that I have things in the proper format for you. But this shows the shoreland permit application in terms of where the lot is, where the trees will be taken down, where our house is going to be, things like that. And I can show the lots here as well. Let's see. One of my questions is going to be around, because we'll be the third property on the driveway, which I believe turns that into a private road, instantly, period, end of story, I believe.
Right. Yes, we've heard these, we've been discussing this a little bit.
Okay, so, this, and I don't know if this is,
For about a half hour this afternoon.
oh, okay. I don't know if this is helpful to hand out as well.
Yes,
but it
that's the one I wanted to see.
Okay.
We have that in here.
Oh, yeah, we do have that one.
Oh, yeah. Better copy than that.
No, that's, we have the same copy, then we tiny copy. Then we have this one.
Not, but
This is the same thing. Craig got that all wrinkled.
Yeah, Craig's dog did that.
yeah.
I'll blame the dog.
Yeah, when we originally bought the property, there was 2 lots, and we merged them together, and it was sold, it was listed as a buildable property. Didn't realize that, there would be any potential snags with, the shared drive, or it's not a shared driveway, we were made very clear. I don't know the difference, I'm learning a lot of terms. I use the term shared driveway, when in actuality, the driveway is owned by the Pratts, and
It's an easement across that.
easement across it,
It's still
yes.
a shared driveway because right now 2 people are using it.
Okay,
So it is shared.
okay,
It's just not, it's owned by Pratt's. Half it's owned by Pratt's and part of it's owned by you and part of it's owned by the neighbor,
Mark Bailey, yeah.
Bailey, yes.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
So it's still a shared driveway.
Okay,
It's just-
I was made very clear by people to not use the term shared driveway, so I wanted to
But
be,
as soon as you put a third driveway on it, or a third dwelling on it, it's not a shared driveway by definition.
Okay.
Now you're a private road.
okay,
So
Yeah.
14 and 15 are merged.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah. I'll see if I have anything else here that might be helpful. I don't know if you want to see the building.
We have this.
Can you show me where your driveway is gonna go? How are you coming off the driveway that goes down into the neighbor's property?
So this whole area up here will just be dirt, basically, and be a driveway.
Okay.
That was approved with the state, and then the existing driveway comes through here, so we come in, and then there's a area here to kind of cut the corner and pull into the garage that way.
Okay. And then this continues onto their
To
property
Mark
to there.
Bailey's property, yes.
That's just like this guy over here.
Who else is using the driveway?
Pratt's.
Pratt's.
Yeah.
Pratt's are using it.
So this house is the Pratt's.
Ah, okay. So,
And this is an easement
so,
to you.
yeah, didn't show that where their driveway comes off here, that's why I.
Oh, yeah.
I should also mention as well that everyone's been so helpful. We originally thought we had a builder lined up, and that's why it's taken 3 years. We had a few different builders that we were working with that fell through, and now we're working with local people. We have Al Provost and Anthony Costello helped get us over the finish line with the shoreline protection permits and things like that.
Road
So
ends here.
Shoreline can be a tricky one.
that, yeah,
So they're coming in, but they're not using the road, they're coming in this way.
that was tricky. Sam Harris is our tree guy that's kind of
Power that
this
is
guidance
here.
as well, and
No dock.
He's gonna go underground from here.
there is no dock. Hopefully eventually someday.
Wow.
But we're taking things one step at a time.
How they gonna permit it while we were at it though?
Yeah.
Okay. Mention that. When I go fishing by here, I'll say, that's the house without dock. I know who that is.
Yep. I know.
So the driveway comes off Winter Road through Pratt's property. So it's
And
Actually,
cuts a corner of his property.
Right, but Pratt's come off of that, it continues on, cuts off the corner of your property,
Yep.
then to your house, and it continues on to Bailey's.
Yes.
Bailey's, that name? Okay, I better write that down, I'll forget.
So do you know if technically, is there an easement for this little corner on your property already?
Yes, I brought the deeds as well.
Okay, so
but
there's
yeah,
an easement on their property and your property
to pass
to
through.
get through, okay?
Yes. And there's also a Thurber Road, it's,
Yes.
if that's been something that,
That's what shows
that
up here.
shows Thurber Road, which Thurber Road doesn't actually go as far
It
as
stops
it
this, yeah, and
shows.
it goes up here,
Yeah,
and you're down here.
correct, yep.
Did anybody give you this little blurb out of our zoning? Private roads.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, that's on like page 84, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I brought a printout of that as well, so, yep.
Who owns this parcel? Is that part of it?
Well, his house is over here.
Yeah.
We don't know who owns
So
that
the
parcel.
driveway goes to Pratt, keeps on going to him, and then keep on going to Bailey, which kind of shows better on this little thing, really. This is Pratt, this is him, that's Bailey. So my interpretation of this, well, that's, you'll notice this was added in 2021. So you're our first one.
Oh, okay, all right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Are we still using this poor copy for
Pardon me?
the private road?
Article 37.
Yeah, 37.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's been updated. In the master plan that's posted online. It's right there.
You have that? You don't.
Yeah, I brought my own copies as well. I was
You already got a copy of
I was
it.
ready to send those out as well, but you guys are, this isn't your first rodeo.
Well, I say I have another one, I don't see it now. Might as well give it all away.
But page 84, is that what you're looking for, or I did bring extra copies of it?
Yeah, give one, I can find to Bruce, unless I got it laying here, so. No, here we go. Give that to Bruce too. Almost set. Thank you. Does it need that? So I reviewed this about an hour ago, maybe two. You need a conditional use permit, which was gonna require a butter notification. And yes, butter notification. You know how wide that existing driveway is?
I don't have exact measurements. It's not passable for two cars, that's for sure.
So according to this regulation, the driveway shall be 20 feet unless, we have the option to go a little narrower if we want to, unless otherwise approved. But the structural section of the road has to be the same as the regular Class 5 road. Horizontal vertical geometry has to meet the regular road. And we shall require the private road to be designed by a professional engineer, including erosion and sedimentation control facilities. So we can't waive that because of the zoning. The only thing we can waive is the width. Did I get it right?
I think you did.
Okay, wanna make sure, 'cause this is our first time, so wanna make sure.
And we also
No,
know,
we can waive the pavement. It says that in 37.
Yeah, 37.43, yeah.
So, when the road is designed and built according to what it says here, the owners are still required to maintain it, right?
Right.
So what if they maintain it wrong?
They gotta sign a little waiver, liability waiver, get it recorded saying it's not our fault that the ambulance can't get there. That's part of the building permit process. And they still need to get approval from the selectmen, correct, Naomi? Maybe?
not sure, we just did something similar over on, it's now called Heritage Way. There was a driveway that went in off Concord Stage, and when the other house went in, they did through 911, they came up with a name, and I think it just went through 911. We had to renumber, we had to notify everybody, we had to do a lot of things. You had to call it a name, you had to go through 911, so it didn't sound like something else. But when we renamed that and did the driveway to a private road, didn't come to you and didn't come to the selectmen.
It doesn't mention anything about the selectmen or the zoning, only the planning board.
I think it's you guys.
Yes, I know it's not zoning anymore.
No.
That's true. If it's a
all on us.
class 6 road, it goes to selectmen.
Right.
Private road, it's all on us.
It's all on you. This class 6 is town-owned, not maintained.
Right. Right.
Also, the ownership is the ownership.
Right, stays the same.
So your easement that goes across, that you own that.
Okay,
Because it's still, once it gets onto Bailey's property, he owns it. It's no longer part of the right of way.
I would assume that, but I don't know that. Someplace we gotta have a fire truck turnaround, so I don't know if the easement continues on the Bailey or not. We may wanna have the fire truck turnaround down at Bailey's. I don't know.
okay, I'm sorry, what,
Then what goes across Pratt's property is still their property, it's just,
Yeah, whatever goes across Pratt's property will still be Pratt's property, and you and Bailey would have an easement over, same as today, just, it would be called a road rather than driveway, that's all.
okay,
And name would be different, that's all.
okay. Name and numbers,
Yeah, you have to call it something,
okay,
yeah, that will help with,
Downing Lane.
yeah, help with the, numbering of homes, et cetera, like
Street
the
addresses.
911 thing.
yep,
Because when you merge those two properties together, the sequence of numbers changed.
yeah, I've
Because technically you're.
been doing some research on that as well.
This way you're on the right side,
Yep,
and as you're on the right side of that right way, you're even number.
right,
Because coming up the road, its left side is
That right now is, you've got a 55 and a 57, and it doesn't work with 911. You can't give him an odd number between those two.
Right.
So that's exactly where the new name comes in, yeah.
So then both Pratt's property won't get changed.
Well, it's 3. That'll be 3.
No, it could.
Yeah, it should.
It should.
There
It's
should
like
be,
we did one off Maplewald, it's called
Yeah.
Sparrow Lane. There's
Right.
3 there.
yeah, or even up on White
Driveway
Hill.
will be off the private road.
Looking Glass Lane, we did the same thing. up there.
Yeah,
So is the easement wide enough to do a 20-foot wide road?
That was my question to you, how wide's your easement?
it,
thought it,
I don't know if it, would it be, in the deed, it doesn't mention how, a width of it, it just mentions we have the right to pass through.
We looked at some deeds online here, and some of them mentioned 30 feet, but I don't know if that was Thurber Road or Winter Road or your driveway or, to be honest, I don't know.
Yeah, I have all of our deeds here, and it doesn't, it just mentions the right to pass through, it doesn't say anything about a width.
If I was you, since you've already had Mr. Costello working on this, I'd get hold of Mr. Costello, he can probably help you out with this
Okay,
quite a bit.
okay,
Because what if the easement wasn't wide enough and the Pratts didn't want to improve the road, then what would happen?
Let's get to that bridge, let's cross that bridge, we'll get to it.
Oh, I plan ahead too far, I guess.
well then who's ultimately responsible for the improvement? All 3 properties?
He's the one that wants a building permit. So, you are. Sorry.
okay. So Anthony Costello would be the person that can help us with, what would be necessary to improve the,
Because the very last thing says that we shall require a private road to be designed by professional engineer, including erosion, sedimentation control, and drainage facilities. So that's Anthony, since he's already been on the property, I assume, and et cetera.
yeah, I don't know if he's actually been on the property, I don't think he has, it's all been, another architect and engineer were involved initially, and then he knew them and was able to take their information and
Either way, yeah.
move forward with it, but
Craig, you're reading from what? I'm just so the girls. they
Pardon me?
know, but
Article.
You're reading from
37.
Article 37?
Yes.
Okay.
The last thing I read
37,
was 4.5.
4.5.
4.5.
But we don't have a permit application per se, that gives you everything that he'll need to come back?
I think Article 37 does, yes.
okay.
Whatever conditional use permit looks like.
I mean, if you can't fit a 20-foot wide road in there, I guess we have the authority to go narrower if we have to.
Yeah,
You want a sidewalk, right?
it's,
I'd like a sidewalk either way. Once the plan's done, at least.
you'd like a sidewalk, is that what you said?
Sidewalk.
Oh, sorry. I was like,
We meet you out there and walk around.
oh, okay, all right, all right.
So, no big deal.
Yeah, that
Relax.
would be very, I'm trying to envision this. I mean, I know this is,
We're not in Londonderry, we don't do sidewalks here.
okay, thank you.
No street lights, no sidewalks.
That's great.
I'm a surveyor, I did a lot of work in Londonderry.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, part of my office was actually in Londonderry for quite a few years, so.
Oh, okay, great. So is there, like, I know there are some private roads that currently, I mean, one of the good things about us, I know we talked a little bit about Heritage Way earlier, and that is a huge piece of property with lots of opportunities for additional houses to be on that in the future, and I can totally see why that needs to be the 20 feet wide and everything. I'm hoping that with this, because we, literally, our three properties combined are 1.5 acres, and so there's no opportunity for, and it ends at the water, there's no opportunity for additional houses to be in the future added to it, so would love to, if we could do a site walk, I don't know when that would come up or whatever, but I'd love to, you know, get your thoughts and opinions and show you how tight things are, and we're trying to be really good neighbors, and the thought that we're gonna be destroying somebody's lawn or something like that is very concerning to us, and we're gonna go underground with our electrical to try and just keep things as clean and easy on the neighbors as possible, as opposed to additional wires in the sky, and
Looking at this, to answer your previous question I mentioned, fire truck might be able to turn around your driveway.
yeah.
You know, pull up towards Bailey's, back into your driveway and pull out.
And who, would that be the fire department I could talk to get their thoughts on that? Okay.
Do we want to schedule a site walk now?
That would be amazing. This is,
Yeah, up to you, it's fine with me.
Pardon me?
It's fine with me.
Yeah.
Oh, if you look out the window, it's dark right now.
Yeah, we aren't gonna do it this very minute. Could've done it a half hour ago.
fine.
Bruce, you're out of town next week, right?
Hmm?
He's out of town next week. It's a short week too.
That's right, Monday's a holiday.
After the week we've had, we started our holiday today.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were hoping this would work out well as far as the starting to build over the course of the summer. My wife's a school teacher, and obviously we have a camper that we bought at Campers Inn, so we've got some, over the summer it would have been very nice to be able to be homeless, because we're going to have to sell our property in Londonderry to get the funding from that in order to really tear into the building process. But now I know we're pushed back a bit here, so.
Next week, I could do Wednesday or Thursday evening.
I'm out next week. All week.
I can't do Wednesday or Thursday. I can't do any night next week.
Jeez.
I'm gonna do Mondays. I am only free Mondays, except for the following, the 9th or the 11th, I'm available.
June 2nd?
June 2nd, yeah.
June 2nd? Monday? June 2nd?
We have a selectmen's
Yes,
meeting.
selectmen's, I could do before that, though.
Monday? You have no idea, probably, do you?
my schedule changes by the hour.
I understand. Why don't we say Monday night at, I don't care. What time's your selectmen meeting start, 7?
No. Oh, I think-
6:30.
6:30,
I
so
think we're gonna
4:30.
start, Bruce, I think we're starting early to review the applications.
What,
We'll do it at
I think we're
5.
gonna start at 5:30 to review.
4:30?
5 or
4:30?
Yeah, 4:30?
4:30?
There you go. What is it, Monday?
Yeah, what, do we ever send me a text, Greg?
4:30, because I have to post it, just in case you have quorum.
I left my phone in the truck.
Where are you gonna meet? I don't imagine you're all gonna go down there. I mean, should you carpool from somewhere? Just asking.
Let's
That's
get
up
the
to you.
biggest truck.
Bruce or me? No, all three of us have the same size truck, don't we?
Yeah. Well, he's got a 4-door.
So do I.
Well, yours extended cab, he's got a crew.
Oh, okay.
Mine's more
Or
comfortable.
we can go in the Bronco.
Yeah, we can take the Bronco. Want me here, we just leave from here.
Can we get off the road in your property?
Yes.
Okay, let's meet on his property. That way, yep.
And that is, Winter Road.
Yeah.
I'm still working with this stupid phone, trying to figure stuff out here, so bear with me, Bruce. If I don't do this now, I'll forget. No, that's not the right number. It's
A
a
meeting
flag.
at the property?
Can you send Bruce a text and tell him that? 4:30, I got your email, how's that?
We probably have room for about 4 cars, I would say, currently the way, before doing any work and making the driveway any different than it is.
So what are you saying, what's the location?
At his property.
Yeah,
We'll figure it
the
out.
driveway's at 51 Winter Road, so I think 51. Probably. Yeah, if you put in 51 Winter Road, you should be okay.
Yeah, go to the Pratt's driveway and go
I
down
could
there.
swing by and pick you up on the way past the road, drive by your house to get there. Save one truck down there anyway.
You might wanna see if Anthony can be there.
Okay.
Or here.
At the house.
Sidewalk?
You met Anthony, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone knows Anthony. Okay, great.
He's done quite a bit of work here.
Okay, he mentioned that he and I spoke earlier today, so.
He was here at the last meeting, actually.
Yeah.
Don't remember what for right now, but he was here.
I met him
Great.
again Saturday.
Yeah, he's been great. All these things that were so confusing to us, and Anthony's like, oh, we got this, you know, it makes it sound so simple, and he's done it so many times, especially with the shoreland permit application, so that'd be great.
That's what you do.
Check and see, okay. And I guess realistically, one of our questions and one of our concerns is about what are we talking about, like best case scenario, realistically? Is that anything you can give me any indication of at this point, as far as best case scenario, that we could possibly get a building permit, or was this, no, you're not saying anything.
I'm not gonna go there.
Okay, all right, okay, all right.
Well, a lot of it could be Anthony's time schedule. A lot of it is gonna be Anthony's time schedule.
Okay,
He has design a little road.
okay,
Or else you gotta go to the zoning board for variance on that, and that takes a month and a half, so you don't wanna do that.
okay. Okay,
He's gonna be, he might be your time constraint.
okay,
You still have to come here and notify the abutters, that's a three-week process right there, just to get here.
mm-hmm,
You know what I mean? You have to make the application to the land use department roughly 3 weeks before the meeting,
mm-hmm,
so
I think it's,
that's
yeah,
another month almost.
yeah. So I think, yeah, June 5th is the next timeline to submit an application to be on the June 26th docket,
Yeah, sounds right.
so, okay.
That's tight.
Yeah, sure is. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Any other questions, concerns? comments? No. Questions for us?
I think it looks good.
I know, no, I think,
Now you're too confused to ask the question.
yeah, I know, I had a whole list here, but I mean, I think the biggest thing, and I know you can't give me timing and things like that, but I know that it makes sense. I'm hopeful that, I don't know, I mean, I know that there are some private roads in town, like Farmer and things, but those probably predate the whole 2021 regulation, and so that's why this is gonna be handled differently.
Well, yeah,
Everything predates that.
yeah, everything predates it, because you're the first one.
Okay,
But at the same time, all those other ones you're talking about is why we have this ordinance,
yeah,
so.
okay. All right, so, should I contact the fire department? Is that something I could do and talk to them about
Talk
this?
to the fire department about turning around your driveway, see if that's feasible,
Okay,
or what they would need.
Yeah, because Anthony could probably sketch something to show that it meets the geometry to be able to turn around your driveway.
And that might do it. It's obviously to scale, but
yeah,
I don't know what scale this is when it's reduced like that, but you might have enough right there.
Okay.
If you have a boat and 4 vehicles parked in your driveway, the fire truck can't turn around, but you don't need to tell them that.
okay. Is there anyone in particular at the fire department, that I should be speaking with, or? just-
Chief, what's his name?
Mark, and it's Roar, R-O-A-R-I-C-A. I can forward you his contact, because you emailed me,
Yeah, okay,
and then you can email him.
all right,
Or I'll loop him into the conversation, how's that?
that'd be great.
Okay.
All right, I think you guys gave me the guidance I need to, hopefully, it's been almost 3 years now, so, so far, but, I appreciate it. Learning a lot.
Who's ever been? Woo-hoo. Doesn't pay for it either.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Look forward to seeing you on June 2nd.
I'm gonna write that down for you.
June 2nd, 4:30 on the property. All right. Wonderful. Have a good evening.
You too, thank you. Master plan update shouldn't take long, should it?
Nope. The cover letter that we presented last month, our last meeting, is in the tax bill, which goes out
Hopefully tomorrow, but
tomorrow, yeah,
Or
because
Tuesday.
you're already done.
Take your time.
And
No rush.
Joey, more taxes.
It's due the same day, no matter when they send it out.
Yeah.
so when I went and took the PDF and made it, the PDF, a Word document, because I needed to make sure it looked right, because I couldn't change the PDF. Automatically, Word started spitting out spelling errors, which I thought we had taken care of. So what I had sent Naomi in the first wave had the spelling errors. So we agreed that they're not life-threatening, but in the process of correcting the errors and then putting together a new link and a new QR code, I realized that it's still the same document because I just edited it. So it's still linking to the same document. So what's gonna happen is that the first QR code and first link will know that those are all coming from the tax bill. We're gonna post the second link and the second QR code on our website, and then we'll know that that's being generated from there. And that was one of the things that the subcommittee kind of contemplated, how do we know where this information's coming from? So we have two sources now, two different links, it's still gonna give us the same information in the same place, but that's good. And then that will close the 31st of August, and then we'll begin meeting again to crunch the numbers, if you wanna call it that, and probably I'll challenge the team to look at other towns' master plans to see what they look like. I looked at one today, or actually because I was looking at Warner's website about whether they had a solar ordinance, because they have a municipal solar array at the transfer station. But they don't have anything in their zoning about that. But I did come across, like I said earlier, that they do have a very interesting, I thought helpful, accessory dwelling unit ordinance that fleshes out things nicely, which we might want to consider. But I was thinking of planning to go up to their planning board secretary or whoever it is and pick their brain to see, you have a municipal, what does that look like? Why do you have that? And you don't have zoning about it for everybody else. So that's that.
Okay. CIP. We have a subcommittee, or we're gonna have a subcommittee very shortly, consisting of Jack Dearborn, Denise Purington, Gary Shelto, Tom Clow, yours truly, and Bruce Fillmore.
Say that again? Dearborn?
Jack Dearborn, Denise Purington, Gary Shelto, Tom Clow, me, and Bruce. So the planning board itself won't have to worry about all that.
Okay. So we move to appoint that committee?
Yes, you did. Didn't you?
I just did.
Yes.
Second.
Marie seconded. All in favor, aye.
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 Minutes from 4/24 I don't have with me, but I know I looked at them, they were okay, if I remember right, because I looked at them 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I had first.
That's the one that,
I at first wanted to correct the present list, but then I realized that we hadn't made decisions on positions yet, and it's in the minutes. When I finally got to the end, I said, no, I don't need to change that.
let me see that again. I thought there was one. Nope, that was right. Never mind. Looks good to me.
Move to accept the minutes of April 24th, 2025,
As written.
as written.
Second?
Am I allowed?
Yeah, you were present.
Okay, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion passed.
What, you had sidewalk minutes that Pastor Bill put out for May 19th
Yep.
on the Al's Drive?
You'll never forget.
That's fine.
You already saw
I
it.
think I saw him.
Yeah, because you asked me.
Yes. You weren't here.
I assumed Tom was Tom Preston because of his
On
jacket.
car.
Oh,
It was Tom,
Tom
because he
Carr.
could say, hi, I'm Tom. So I'm, well, you're not as tall as your son.
I move we approve the minutes of May 19th sidewalk.
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I need to abstain. 'cause
No.
I wasn't here.
You could abstain, yes. 301.
Do you wanna discuss your sidewalk at all publicly or no?
I was gonna kinda wait till we got Keach's letter
That's
back
what
that way.
Steve was, yep, sorry.
That's, basically that was the decision of the sidewalk, is that Steve Keach is gonna send me an email with the recommendations.
Yeah, when I looked at the minutes from the 24th, it talked about costs. But I think we need to have Steve's response before costs.
Yeah.
Seemed simple solution.
Of course, I didn't look at my email before I left the site, so I might have an email, I don't know.
I don't think you do. He usually loops me in when there's not one.
Anything else? And it's not even 8:30
Yeah,
yet?
let's, Had an Energy Commission meeting last night.
Woo-hoo.
They've got a, model solar array ordinance that they got from somebody at the state. They're gonna be getting over to us. I didn't see it yet.
Is it a model solar one?
Hmm. Told them I asked the chairman to get it over to Naomi.
He said it to you. She doesn't get enough emails.
She can distribute it that way.
Yeah. Which prompts a thought that we reminded Melissa about asking for PDFs for everything, so that we can peruse things like this prior to, without having to come in.
It'll be small, but you guys can at least see what's going on.
We can zoom
And
in
the
on,
big ones are here.
yeah, we can zoom in on the computer screen too.
And maybe we need to advise her in a timely fashion as to, not the day of.
Yeah, no, I think when they submit it, we're gonna probably add it to the checklist, that they can send electronically to us.
Something we should think about, we might wanna look at our fees sometime too, we haven't changed those in a long time.
No, you haven't.
I don't know if they're, something to think about. Maybe we'll look at it next workshop. Wouldn't take long to do it, I don't think. At least to look at it.
So then your work session is going to be June 12th. So you wanna do continue zoning and fee schedule maybe?
Yeah. I know the cost of postage has gone up enough, we gotta at least change that one.
So we'll
Speaking
put the
of
solar array
arrays,
stuff
we're
for
working
them,
on one in Kingston
along with
right
all
now.
the other
It's
stuff
really
we
nice.
have.
The panels are twice as big as a normal solar array, but they move with the sun. So that most of the problems you have with solar arrays is you can't maintain them good, like mowing and stuff. These things go flat during the middle of the day. You literally drive a skid steer underneath the whole thing, it's wide
The
open.
tracker, yeah.
And it makes the alleys between them much wider because of the way the shading would be. So, we're in the middle of hydro seeding the whole thing right now, and we can actually drive our big truck in between it all, which is really nice, because usually,
The whole, how many poles are there?
how many poles? It's a 20-acre site and it's full. I can't even count how many, it's
Holy
huge.
crap.
But once again, like I mentioned on the conservation meetings, the people that actually build the thing, like we went in there last year and prepared the whole site, seeded it. They came in a month after we seeded it, so nothing was mature, tore it all up during the wintertime.
Right.
So now they're starting over. They're regrading the whole thing. But the problem is it's on a slope, and all the silt and everything went into the detention ponds, and that overflowed into the wetlands, so it's the same complaint that I've been having, is the people that actually build the thing are not careful, they don't care about the site. It has to have some sort of written ordinance that somehow can be controlled, because they come in like cowboys and just destroy everything.
If this 20-acre site, was it all disturbed at one time?
It was all wooded, and it was one big wetland at the bottom. And they cut the trees down on everything, and that's one of the things I told conservation when they were talking about, when they do these things, they go right through the wetlands, they take everything out. They don't take the stumps or anything out, but they cut everything in the wetland for shading purposes. And then they have us put a silt fence around the freaking wetland to protect it. Well, they've already been in there
Right.
cutting all the trees and everything, there's ruts 4 feet deep sometimes from the skidders, but it's protected now. It's, and then in this particular site, they built the entire array all around this wetland, but they must have got permits to fill in a lot of it, because they did. So part of the wetlands got converted into detention ponds, which technically is not a natural wetland anymore. It's a big wide open pond that's gonna fill up with cattails. And that's another, the engineers always design these fancy grasses to go in these wetlands. And I keep telling them, the only thing that grows in detention ponds in New Hampshire is cattails. No matter what we plant in there, the cattails take over within 2 years. And so,
With that Phragmites stuff.
yeah, so it's stuff like that. I mean, is it awful and terrible? Well, yes and no, but that's if you're gonna write ordinances, you have to be
Yeah.
aware of what happens when they come in and build these things.
Yeah, but you could easily get around that. Two things, well, I got two questions. First, the AOT permit, the alteration of terrain permit, typically limits you to 5 acres disturbance at a time.
Yeah, they don't care about that in the solar farms. They take everything.
They have to go by their permit, though.
They must get easements. Every one I've been on has been way bigger than 5 acres at a
They
time.
don't have to do it. They can go-
Utilities don't have to do
I don't
it?
think the utilities
No.
even abide by, they
No.
don't go through wet, they can do everything.
They don't.
Oh, yeah. It's like all those
No,
poles
you-
that fell
no,
down
you-
South Ware are all in the
Those
wetlands.
the poles are putting back in again. They need to get wetland permits for all those roads they put in. They need
I
to get
still
permits
think
for all
there's
that.
a loophole like cheese.
Yeah, there's a lot of look the other way.
Yeah.
Kingston, you said, huh?
I know Conway is very strict. We did some there, and the town was very strict on how it was done, because they had a couple of bad experiences. But, you know, and these places, like the one we're working at now, the company Unitil is owning it. But they're planning on doing a lot in New Hampshire. They've been doing a lot of them up in Maine, and now they're planning to come to New Hampshire to do a bunch. So, they're not gonna go away.
No.
They're not going away.
I can get a hold of Kingston Planner, find out what she says.
Didn't we look at,
Anything else?
move to adjourn?
Do we have a second?
Second.
Boy, Bruce, you got it easy tonight, don't you? You don't have to second anything anymore.
I don't read to it.
He's giving me practice. I'm a voting member tonight.
Aye.
I'm not